Good evening, Bridgeport. A nice crowd out tonight. You guys look lovely. This is our Tuesday, April 8th meeting at 7:40. We are called to order. Please rise and pledge the flag. Thank you, everyone. Angela, roll call, please.
Laura Hauk,
Here.
Amy High,
Here.
Kyle Schenk,
Here.
Megan Nolan,
Here.
Diane Gundrum. Here. Tony Heil.
Here.
Saba Al-Zayed.
I'm here. Thank you.
Madam President, I note for the record, we were in executive session from approximately 7 o'clock to approximately 7:40 with regard to personnel issues and real estate acquisition.
Thank you, Mr. Bello. All right. First up here for council consideration, we have our March 11th, 2025 meeting minutes. Do you have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion from Mr. Schenk, second from Mr. Heil. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next up, very exciting, we have a presentation, the commendations of heroism presented by Officer Noah Clemens and Justin Bruschi. Chief and Mayor.
Yes, if Officers Broski and Clemens could stand up by the podium. Good evening, Bridgeport. It's a great evening when we have the opportunity to give back a little bit to the officers, their officers' families that support the residents of Bridgeport each and every day. Excuse me, I gave back too much. Officers Broski and Clemens, would you like to give your mothers and your girlfriends? Thanks. Thank you.
Do you want a Ricola?
Miss Nolan, this was a solemn moment. Much better. Thank you. So today, for a combination of heroism, we have Officers Clemens and Broski. And in the crowd today is Christy, the mother of Officer Clemens, and Katie, the girlfriend of Officer Clemens, and we have something for you. And Officer Broski, Denise, mom, and Christina, fiance, are here along with Dad, John. John, I didn't get you a rose. I'm sorry. Combination of heroism awarded to Officer Noah Clemens for an act of heroism and outstanding courage without regard to personal safety, which results in the saving of a life. On February 22nd, 2025, at approximately 1:30 a.m., you arrived at the 300 block of West 3rd Street, Bridgeport, for a large residential fire at the Bridgeport Suites. You responded to a fire alarm where you assessed the situation and conducted a search for residents on different floors. Although residents were fleeing the structure fire, you stayed without CBA or turnout gear and battled your way through heavy smoke in the passageways. You assisted residents with the direction outside of the structure. You later met with Officer Broski, who was carrying an elderly and incapacitated resident down from her room on the 4th floor. Both you and Officer Broski excuse me, both you and Officer Borowski, also without CBA or turnout gear, completed the task of getting the subject out of the structure and to a place of safety. Both you and Officer Borowski continued to attempt to locate and direct residents out of the building until the smoke was so great that you could not leave the ladder well you entered from and remained in harm's way. If not for your actions, lives may have been lost. Your stalwart response to this critical incident displayed heroism and exemplify excellence in policing, all of which are in the greatest traditions of the Bridgeport Borough Police Department. We honor your commitment and service to this community. Mayor. This pen is the combination of heroism. It's not easily won. It's earned, and we're not going to pin you because we don't want to draw blood today at the ceremony. So you can put that in your hand. Congratulations. We'll get some pictures with the mayor, and then we'll get pictures. Come on over. I can only hold my breath so long. Congratulations, and we'll get pictures. We'll get some more pictures with your family. Family members, if you want to come up here and get some pictures with Noah and the mayor. It's okay. Congratulations, thank you. Commendation of heroism awarded to Officer Justin Borowski for an act of heroism and outstanding courage without regard to personal safety, which results in the saving of a life. On February 22nd, 2025, at approximately 1:30 a.m., you arrived at the 300 block of West 3rd Street, Bridgeport, for a large residential fire at the Bridgeport Suites. You were first on the scene, where you assessed the situation and conducted a search for residents on the different floors. Although residents were fleeing from the structure fire, you stayed without SCBA or turnout gear and battled your way through heavy smoke in the passageways. You assisted residents outside of the structure and discovered that an elderly and incapacitated resident was in a room on the 4th floor. You assisted the subject out of the unit and carried her down multiple flights of stairs, meeting up with Officer Noah Clemens. Both you and Officer Clemens, also without SCBA or turnout gear, completed the task of getting the subject out of the structure and to a place of safety. Both you and Officer Clemens continued to attempt to locate and direct residents out of the building until the smoke was so great that you could not leave the ladder well you entered from and remained in harm's way. If not for your actions, lives may have been lost. Your stalwart response to this critical incident displayed heroism and exemplified excellence in policing, all of which are in the greatest of traditions of the Bridgeport Borough Police Department. We honor your commitment and service to this community. You will. Yes, just hold them like that. And then right after, we'll get your family picture. All right, family, you want to come up and get a couple pictures? in a second here. And then we'll get, so just the two of you can be in the next one. You want there? Sure, get in. Great. Do you want a picture solo? Just the two of you guys? Sure. Okay.
And then all you guys, yeah. No problem.
I'm sorry that Miss Peggy Creeder couldn't be here this evening. But again, when you go through a career of time where a lot of times you're working late at night or early in the morning, you're hungry, you're wet, you're tired, and you wonder, why did I ever get into this business? Just remember this moment because it's a positive one, and I hope it keeps your spirits high. But I'm proud of you. We are proud of you. We appreciate what you do. If not for what you do at times when the rest of us are asleep, if not for you, then where would we be? So thank you.
I'd like to add our thanks as well from council, and also mention that when Councilwoman Nolan and I were meeting with some residents who'd been impacted by the fire, they didn't know if they would be back in their apartments. They didn't know how their stuff was doing. They were nervous, and their first thing they said, and she can back me up, is, how are those officers that saved our neighbor's life? They saw it, they witnessed your heroism, and I know you jumped into battle, and that's something that none of us will ever have to do. And we admire that and are so grateful. And I know that those people who were affected are so thankful as well. They said it to us personally. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the families as well coming out tonight. In general, I know that we really appreciate your service, and Bridgeport is really unique. I think our police force here makes everyone feel really protected. There's always a smile on your faces. You're always waving to everybody. And I really feel like we're really blessed and fortunate to have such a great group working with us here and led by such a great chief. So we really thank you for all of the leadership that you have, and obviously for your heroism. So thank you, everyone. I want to let you know that you are welcome to exit. You don't have to watch the rest of our not as exciting agenda here. If you want to stick around, we're happy to have you. But if you'd like to enjoy the rest of your evening without agenda items, we'd understand.
Thanks very much, guys.
Congratulations, everyone. All right, a couple of quick updates from me. Our community of colors with Bridgeport Elementary students is back on track. So we have 2 new locations. Reach is one of them, and the Tap House will have children's arts from 15 pieces of children's art from the elementary school with their Artist of the Month program. So really excited about that. It'll be up for about a month and a half. So look for that in the next couple of days. I'm really excited to see it. The art's always really impressive. I'm actually always really shocked that children make the art. So looking forward to seeing that and hoping that everybody gets a chance to go. All right, we can move on to our first item here for council consideration. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yep, sorry about that. I forgot about the birthdays here. So yeah, we have our April birthdays. We have Mike Mazza and Arya Mukunda, and happy birthday to you, and hope you have a wonderful month. All right, we can move on to our first item, another item of business here. For council consideration, we have authorization to submit the letter of intent to the Governor's Center of Local Government Services, Fire Services Peer Assistance Programs. Mr. Chairman, do you want to give a little bit of color here?
Sure. This is a conversation that I have been undertaking with not only Fire Chief Wanzik, but with the input, insight, and cooperation of both Chief Gallagher from Goodwill Fire Company and Chief Frymoyer from Bridgeport Fire Company Number 1. In the 2025 budget, last fall during budget development, council had authorized a certain amount of money to go toward hiring a fire consultant to evaluate our operations and services, staffing resources, so on and so forth. I view this, however, as a first step prior to embarking on potentially a paid contract consultant. This is the state has the Governor's Center for Local Government Services, which operates through the auspices of the DCED, Community Development Department in the state. They offer what's called a peer assistance program, where they will match our municipality up with a peer consultant that is expert in doing these types of evaluations. And essentially, this would be our first step toward determining where we stand and if there are any suggestions or recommendations to potentially improve the services provided, again, the staffing resources, so on and so forth, through the Borough Volunteer Fire Company. I don't know that, I guess it's yet to be determined if the outcome that comes from the peer assistance program will be sufficient enough of a guiding and steering document, or if we opt to go further and embark on a consult thereafter. But should we want to, there are no and low cost options above and beyond the peer assistance program offered through the DCED as well once we've completed this step. But in order to get paired up with in the peer assistance program, the first thing to do is submit a letter of intent to the Governor's Center, and that is what council is considering authorization of this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Truman. Do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Hauk, second from Mr. Schenk. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public?
And Mr. Truman, we've been doing this in coordination and respect with the fire leadership here. It's not spur of the moment. I know you've spoken with others to make sure that we're doing this to respect the needs of the borough and the public safety, and also the great work the fire departments are doing.
Yes, Chief Gallagher, as I noted, Vice President Howell, Chief Gallagher and Chief Frymoyer are not only aware of this endeavor, but are supportive of it as well.
All right, any additional comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. All right, next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2025-08, executing an agreement between the Borough of Bridgeport and Norfolk Southern Railway Company for a preliminary engineering services relating to rail crossing improvements.
Members of council, members of the audience, in, I believe it was August of last year, Borough Council had passed a similar resolution authorizing execution of this very same preliminary engineering services agreement between the borough and Norfolk Southern. This is in conjunction with some mandatory safety improvements at the rail crossings and regulatory upgrades that need to be done after a site walkthrough in about a year ago that we had with the state, prompted by the development of River Point. Norfolk Southern never cross-signed the original engineering agreement that we had authorized and signed last year, and they recently approached us and asked for a larger amount of money to be set down as to put down in escrow. Originally, the dollar figure was $23,612. They've asked for an additional $30,000 in escrow. So the grand total is $53,612 that they are requiring to be put into escrow before they proceed with the engineering services and review of this project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Shank, a second from Ms. Hauk. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. All right, last up here for council consideration, we have Resolution 2025-09, executing hauler's agreement with Trinity Subsurface LLC.
Just so everybody's aware, this is the standard sludge haulers agreement that we have all of our, anybody who comes on site to the wastewater treatment plant in order to dump sludge or other sanitary sewer products on site. There is a fee to that, and they must all sign, memorialize the agreement with this, with the relationship with this agreement.
And this is a new customer, so to speak?
New customer.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion, Mr. Howe. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Shank. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. All right, we can move on to unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business? All right, can move on to committee reports. Do we have any committee reports?
I will add, just from the Finance Committee, while we haven't had one since our last meeting, there have been a lot of concerns about the markets with the weird tariff policies and conversations there, and I know people are rattled about it. Mr. Truman has talked with us about talking with our investments for our retirement funds and other funds we have in the borough, and we're on top of it. So we have not been ignoring that, and it's a concern, but it's very valid, but we'll address that at our next our Finance meeting.
Do we have any additional meeting?
I just have a quick recap from the Park Board. We discussed 2025 events that they have planned, including, fingers crossed, this upcoming Saturday. If it does not rain, they will be having their Easter egg hunt. They are also aiming to reopen the Hall of Fame that is downstairs. They're aiming for a June 1 opening date. And then we also just discussed, the Park Board also just discussed a recap of the council's expectations for the board with the new funding agreement. So I just wanted to give a quick update on that.
Do you have any additional committee updates? No, the Halloween subcommittee met, and we had a successful meeting. We had a couple of new members, which was great. So as a result, we had some new participation in the parade. I'm not going to announce them yet, but very fun and exciting. As with that, if anyone is interested in participating in the parade, we're open to new ideas. So if you feel like you have a cool idea or a business or a reason why you'd like to be a vendor or in the parade, we'd welcome communication, as we do with volunteers as well, and attending our meetings. Additional committee reports?
Get your pumpkin order in early.
You got it. Double it up on last year. We can move on to the mayor's report. Mayor Jackson.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone who participated in or attended Founders Day. It was a beautiful day filled with fun, history, chili, and more. We couldn't have done it without you. So we're looking forward to continuing this ever-growing event. So please feel free to join in the planning fun. We meet here at Borough Hall, typically on the third Tuesday of the month. So please join us next Tuesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. And we're going to be recapping this year's event and starting our brainstorming for 2026 somehow. This week from April 6th to April 12th is National Library Week. And as a librarian, this week rings especially important to me. And in past years, I've helped advocate libraries to the Bridgeport community by honoring the Upper Marion and Norristown libraries that serve our community, and by promoting our little free library located right outside Borough Hall, and that is accessible 24/7. But today I come with a bit more of a serious request, asking that if you value libraries, museums, and other like-minded institutions, that you reach out to our federal legislators, Representative Mary Gay Scanlon, Senator Dave McCormick, and Senator John Fetterman, to show how much you appreciate and utilize these places. The IMLS, which stands for the Institute of Museum and Library Services, like many other agencies, has recently come under attack by the Trump administration. So I ask that you please do your duty to tell our legislators that these are crucial institutions that need the continued support of our federal government. So if you have any questions about this or would like information on how to reach out to these legislators, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. So thank you. And finally, I'll be hosting my monthly office hours on Saturday, April 19th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. in my office on the first floor of Borough Hall. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you for a fantastic event as always. I particularly enjoyed the awards ceremony. I think it was always, really well done. The video is a great touch. It was all just done really well, and thank you for all your efforts. It's a year of really hard work, and I don't think we thank you enough for all the stuff that you do, but I think it's really fantastic and a really wonderful way to share your expertise with us and make sure that the history is preserved and our culture here is preserved. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure we thanked you and tell you we had a great time.
Yeah, thank you. The video and the award presentations are definitely my favorite part. It's really like the point of the event, so thank you.
You're here on the Founders Day kudos. That was a great event, and what did you say? Fun, history, chili, and more? Can we do T-shirts next year? Just fun, history, chili?
What more could you want?
Seriously, thank you. Great event.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I only got to see the chili cook-off since I was volunteering there, but before I came to my station, I took a quick walkabout up here and looked at the displays really quick and just seeing all the crowds. It was really great. But I served the winning chili, so I feel like I won that day. So thank you.
I forget the name of who won, but it was very good chili. It was a venison chili, so it was more people should cook with venison so I can eat it, which is really the most important thing. Yes, Founders Day was excellent, and thank you for bringing up the issue of supporting libraries. Maybe perhaps at the next council meeting we could do a letter that we could all sign advocating for that, because it's important for our children and all our residents, no matter their age. So just want to join in. Thank you for bringing that attention.
And if it makes any difference, my kids and all of their friends sat through the entire ceremony and were very excited about it and talked about it all day after. So it was even child friendly. They were excited to see all the pictures you had in there, and they were actually talking about what they heard, which was pretty cool. Not usual in our household. Their attention spans are like flies. So yeah, thanks again. On to the chief's report. Chief, it's all you.
Good evening, Bridgeport. So I know we started off with the combination of heroism. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to take the time to thank the officers and everyone else that did a phenomenal job. Residents take care of themselves, firefighters putting themselves in jeopardy, staff doing their job in the follow-up to make sure that Bridgeport residents got back into their building and in their environment as quickly as possible. This week, I was able to go to Blue on the Steps for the MCAP, which is the advisory panel. It's anti-child abuse on the steps of the courthouse with our legislators, the county commissioners, and law enforcement and the rest of the public service in the county. We're out there on the steps in support of the county's MCAP. They do such a great job. They served, I wanted to say it was 11,000 children since its inception in Montgomery County, and say why 11,000 potential victims. That's horrendous. But they're our trusted partner. We use their services and the county services on a frequent basis to make sure that our children and our investigations are taken care of. So kudos to Montgomery County. I'd like you to reach out to, it's National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and I put out something on Facebook for PCO Dave Nash. For those people that know Dave, he's a phenomenal asset to the borough and the police department. He knows so much, he forgets more than most of our other employees are going to learn. I'm so thankful for PCO Dave Nash. If you happen to see him out on the street, thank him for his service to the borough. On a more somber note, we did have a serious incident. We did have a shooting inside of a residence in the 400 block of Grove Street on Saturday, the 5th of April at 2 p.m. If residents can check their cameras that are in that area, We are looking for any pedestrian traffic that might be at a more frequent and quickened pace away from the 400 block of Grove Street. In that case, one juvenile was shot and struck and was treated at Einstein Hospital and then to Temple for follow-up care. So we are looking for your help for any kind of footage for our investigation. Besides that, just in general, just to give you a basic understanding about for the month of March, the Bridgeport Police had an average arrest, total clearance by arrest of 67%. So we had 13 Part 1 crimes. I understand you might not know what some of these crimes are, but say we had 13 of these crimes, and we cleared 62% of those. And then Part 2 crimes, out of the 18, we cleared 13 of them by arrest. So it's not that things happen. They happen in all communities. It's what do we do about them once they're reported and to clearance and gain resolution. So I thank the police department as a whole for being diligent, whether it's a retail theft at a Wawa, a disturbance, DUIs, et cetera. But know that the men and women of the police department are there for you at all times. That's all I have for you this evening.
Chief, I just wanted to share a story of someone that lives in Philly and had called the police for something, and it took them 6 hours to even call them back. So I just want everyone to remember how great it is to live in Bridgeport and how fortunate we are that we have immediate police respondents, when we have things happening. So, I'm not sure if that's representative of all of Philadelphia. I'm sure it is in some capacity, but I'm happy to be in Bridgeport. So thanks for all you do.
And I'll buttress that with, I was mentioning to the chief earlier that we had an incident at Wawa just the other day when I was there, and there were two people arguing, and I just texted the chief because I wasn't sure if I could make a call in the situation where it looked like there would be a fight, and there were officers there within a minute. Granted, the police station is right next to Wawa, but it helps to know that we can message and that they can be there so quickly, and thankfully there was nothing more serious. And I would urge residents to not assume that things can just blow over if you see something like that, to let our officers know, because even if it blew over and it wasn't as big of a deal, it could be someone that is involved in other things, because someone who is going to get in one fight's probably been in other fights as well. So please alert our police when you hear an incident like that. One thing you did also say with the clearance rate, I think that's good, but do you have any sort of comparison? Because you said 60+% in a month. And for people, if they hear that, is that comparable to anywhere else? Because obviously 100% is not realistic. We would like that, but that's not how any place is. But how does that compare to anything else?
A clearance rate of 35%, so about half that, would be very good. So is it because of the type of crimes or what crimes are being reported? We can't control that. We have a significant amount of those crimes are retail thefts, but we act appropriately and expeditiously to handle those retail thefts. So it depends on the type of crime, how it's reported, and what the follow through is for it. But those percentages for Class 1 and Class 2 crimes for that kind of clearance rates, it's very good. I'm glad to be able to report that. We're only as good as we are, both in the big things and the small things, and that's why. With some of the crimes that we have, we still have follow through. We follow through up on child line reports. Sometimes that might take months to get through because there's an investigative process besides the normal clearance rate in a month. There's DUIs that happen. You stop somebody if they're intoxicated, it's cleared right then and there because you stop them and you have the contact with them. Some things, such as a shooting or some other kind of crime, might take some more time to actually clear. So the clearance rate is at 35% would be a decent clearance rate by arrest for a crime.
All right, thank you, Chief. All right, we can move on to open forum and announcements. Do we have any announcements?
I'll just have a little quick announcement. It was yet another very windy trash day, and I was out at 7:30 in the morning tracking down errant cans and things rolling down the street. So what a perfect time to remind everybody that Spring Cleanup Day will be Saturday, April 26th. We will meet here at Borough Hall. We'll be working, we'll meet up at 10 a.m., get your gloves and trash bags and break off into groups. And then we will meet back around noon for a catered lunch, courtesy of some local businesses. So hope to see everybody there.
They're usually really fun. I've made a lot of friends, so definitely come out and support. I think it'd be really fun. Thank you for running them. They're always really immaculate and well-organized, so thank you, Megan. All right. We can move on to public comment. Are there any members of the public that'd like to comment this evening? Yeah, come up to the dais. Let us know your name and address, please.
Hello, guys. So Emilio Buitrago, 2 Griffith Court and the River Point Development. So hear me out. So one of the reasons that we decided to move to Bridgeport is because we could see the potential that is in this town. Everybody's super friendly. The different activity, the events, everybody seems to know each other. You just feel like it's a really nice, cozy, small town. So I'm here tonight to propose the creation of a new committee or the overhaul and expansion of the current Small Business and Economic Development Committee to focus intentionally and strategically on bringing investment into Bridgeport. Our borough is full of potential. We are very local. Our location between King of Prussia and Norristown, access to transit, a beautiful but underused riverfront, and a rich industrial history. Bridgeport is uniquely positioned to attract new businesses, small, medium, and even large enterprises. We have assets that are currently overlooked and or disrepair. The Bridgeport Industrial Park, aging but iconic buildings, and vacant or underused spaces that could be transformed into vibrant centers of commerce, culture, and community. Imagine the waterfront with inviting cafes and small shops, co-working spaces, and creative hubs. We have the canvas. It is called Bridgeport 2040. What we need is a coordinated vision and an action to paint the future we want. While the Small Business and Economic Development Committee already does important work in partnership with the Bridgeport Business Association, I believe there is room to expand the mission to focus initiative on long-term investment strategy, site improvement opportunities, infrastructure revitalization, and development partnership. I respectfully request the Council to consider establishing a dedicated Economic Revitalization and Investment Committee or transforming the current SBED committee. We want to expand the mandate to research and pursue funding opportunities, incentive business attraction, and guide the revitalization on key areas such as the industrial park and the riverfront. So I hope that you guys can consider that, and I'm happy to help if that becomes possible. Thank you.
Mr. Emilio, I think Mr. Truman has actually been a great partner to me specifically in kind of walking me through this topic and helping me think about this, I think, moving forward. I know Mr. Schenk as well has been a part of, when I very first became a council member, talking about the different zoning laws and how he envisioned Bridgeport, and I aligned with him a lot on his thoughts. And I think that you have a council here that's in support, as far as I know from my conversations with them, the concept. I think we would have to vote on that potentially in the next meeting, right? We'd have to advertise if we did want to do something like that. So
We
in terms of
appreciate the work that Mr. Truman does. I mean, the town is running because of him.
100%.
Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you for the idea. That's wonderful. We will discuss and potentially put this up for vote if we decide to on the next meeting.
Well, before we create a committee, I agree, it's a great idea. We have our Small Business Committee with Dr. Ray, and maybe we should talk about how it's written and proposed and who can be on it, because one thing I know that Dr. Ray really would love is some more engagement from whether it's businesses or interested residents who want to take on a leadership with that, and that could be whether it's not just council members, but then bringing in other people and making it a partnership would be great, because I think what we need is the energy, and Dr. Ray would love to have some people who are either newer businesses or newer residents who want to put their time and attention into making that work. So just to figure out, like, that doesn't take long to figure out, but just if there's 5 people in that committee, who are the 5 people beyond a couple council members? So it's not just another council committee. Because I think I'd love to get some more input from engaged engaged residents and businesses.
Thanks for coming up.
Are there any additional comments? All right, we can certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's 8:20. Thanks for coming out. We are adjourned.